Okay, so look, this fourth episode,
Issues.
we got issues.
Pain. So much pain.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Card. I'm Phil.
I'm Chuck.
And today we're discussing Obi-Wan episode 4.
Yes.
Which, look, we got some issues with this one.
Yeah, it's my least favorite of the 4 that we have seen thus far.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it was the shortest. So.
Yeah, thank goodness for that, because, ugh.
Yeah, I mean,
Ugh.
I liked it less the second time we watched it. It's kind of, there's a lot going on, so let's just kind of get into it. I mean, what's the first thing we're going to talk about here?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, the interrogation of Leia
10-year-old.
By the Inquisitor was less than impressive. We'll put it that way.
I don't know why you have a 10-year-old in chains. And why you're even interrogating a 10-year-old like she's some mastermind of a spy network.
Yeah, and I know that
she will be.
Right. I know that Reva is trying to be intimidating, but look, it's a 10-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know why they even wrote this in this way. And my biggest beef with the whole thing is, despite the fact you have a 10-year-old chained up, despite you keep going back and forth on demanding that she knows what she tells you what she knows when she's 10, she doesn't know anything. And then you slam down the Jedi symbol that was carved into a wall next to her, which she's probably never seen that before, like yesterday.
Yeah, right.
And then to top it off, you're trying to read her mind using the Force on someone that is probably equivalent power of a Jedi Knight. Roughly not a master, but a Jedi Knight.
Sure, Reva. You're talking about Reva, yeah.
And she can't break into the mind of a 10-year-old, and that doesn't strike her as odd? That's not something you report to Lord Vader?
Right. Well, they say in the previous episode that the Empire, the Inquisitors, are now hunting anyone who's Force sensitive.
You would think that might trigger the, hey, maybe this one's Force sensitive.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm trying to get into her head real bad, and I can't do anything, and the kid taunts me about it.
It's the sister contest.
Yeah.
But you're not going to mention that to Vader. You're not going to run that up the chain. I'm very vexed with that whole thing. I mean, Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens, is Ren, she's blocking me. She's not even trained in the Force. And Kylo Ren's way more powerful than Reva is.
Yeah, oh my goodness, yes.
You're afraid that you will never be as strong as Darth Vader.
The scavenger resisted you.
She is strong with the Force. Untrained, but stronger than she knows.
And I'm just like, I'm very vexed by the whole thing.
No, I completely agree. And Reva's character just makes stupid move after stupid move in this particular episode.
Yeah, this is a poorly written episode. I think it's very lazy writing in this episode, in my opinion. It is,
and not acted very well. But you know what? We're going to do the sandwich, because there was one beautiful point.
Oh, sure. There was a great point. Yeah.
And that was...
typically the sandwich is good, bad, good.
Yeah, we're doing the opposite.
We're going the bad sandwich, okay?
Yeah.
This ain't going to taste good. Sorry, guys.
It ain't a good one.
It is what it is.
But I'll tell you what, Obi-Wan getting back to form...
was nice.
Was awesome.
He's like 75% there, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we see him progress. Yeah. And you pointed out as we were watching it, he starts out the scene where, he finally gets Leia and, he's kind of being a little bit of a badass. They're retreating and trying to get away, and stormtroopers are shooting at him, and he's kind of missing a few of them.
And then it's just boom, 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 boom. Then he's starting to be like, he's better every single iteration.
Every single interaction with the stormtroopers, he gets better and better and better, and to the point where he's holding back, the force of water.
Right, which is, takes extreme power that he has.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was cool to see, and his lightsaber glow is shot really cool in this episode. Like it was in the last one too, but the blue looks really sweet, even better than it did in the prequels.
Yeah, the escape when he actually rescues Leia, and it's that dark room, and then you see it ignite and take down the stormtrooper, and then extinguish, and like, oh man, where is he?
Yeah, and then
like, that's
and
Obi-Wan.
the second stormtrooper, cites a Tesla song, and
yeah, that happens too. Yeah, but Obi-Wan getting back to being the badass that we know he is was really cool.
No, that was the redeeming thing of the episode.
Yeah,
the rest of it was kind of just puzzling. It was. My frustration is more with my bewilderment of why they did what they did in the episode more than the episode itself. Yeah, okay, so there was some throwbacks. You see the squiggly droid that I don't know the name off. Sorry guys, off the top of my head, that ran away from Chewbacca on the Death Star.
Yeah, on fire for a second, and that's what you see, man.
You have the same communicator that Luke and 3PO used.
Yep.
3PO! Where could he be? Take over.
You have, again, the stormtroopers hear it, and they pay their attention to somebody else, just like in A New Hope. Then you have him Obi-Wan makes a sound someplace that makes the stormtroopers run off to, just like in A New Hope.
BT-16. Yeah, some other guys were telling me about it. They say it's quite a thing. What was that? That's nothing. Outgassing. Don't worry about it.
There's a lot of references with that, with the escape.
The base looks a lot like the Death Star on the inside. It's very a lot of those harken back, which is really cool when you have a well-written episode. When you have a badly written episode,
it just feels like they're pandering, and it's obnoxious, frankly.
Yeah, and and to me, it's lazy writing when it's not a well-written episode. It's just like, oh, maybe this will distract from we didn't really have a story in this one.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. I said as we were watching it, and I said prior to us watching it, I said it didn't really move the story forward. It was a rehash of A New Hope. They had to go save Princess Leia.
Yeah, and it makes you could have. Based on where the story is so far, it's not moved at 1 inch, just like you said.
Yeah.
They come in at the end. They first off, a broke down Obi-Wan in Indira Varma going into a stronghold of the Empire is kind of sketchy to begin with. Like, you're really going to get out of there.
And would she drop him like 10 miles offshore to swim in there with his Phantom Menace breathing apparatus?
In the Mustafar system.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just, again, what I mean by lazy writing, she's like, and Obi-Wan, was Vader there? It's like, dude, he lives in the Mustafar system. This isn't a surprise.
His system.
Especially when they do another mention of him being, on the other place. And, it's like Obi-Wan would kind of know that because he was there with him.
Don't try it.
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised by all of that. And
he created Vader on Mustafar. That's where they had their last blowout fight. Yeah,
I hate you. That's where all that happened.
Yeah,
right. We all know that.
Yeah,
everyone who was watching this show, everyone who's watching this video, we all know that. But just the fact that they would go in there to do a rescue, which you have to, right? Because Leia's there. He has no choice.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand. If you're going to write it that way, I don't know the point of what happened, of why you would then have it end the way it did, where they get out. They go out, and he has her under his trench coat. With dozens and dozens of stormtroopers and Imperial soldiers. There's probably 100 Imperials in this hangar where they're walking through, and nobody sees it.
Well, not just that. As we pointed out when we're watching the episode, all of the Imperial officers, every last one of them is clean shaven because clearly that's an Empire, like a dress code
out
or
of
anything.
Uniform.
And Obi-Wan's got this big beard and he's he's got a
10-year-old in a trench coat.
It's like two people side by side. No one noticed that. It's ridiculous. No one noticed that. Come on.
I mean, okay, so you want to say that Obi-Wan's using the Force to kind of make them not look at them? Okay.
Sure.
I could buy that.
From a certain point of view.
But if then that's happening, right? Typically when a Force user is actively using the Force and another Force user is around, they sense that there's something going on in the Force. And the Inquisitors are like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, you got 3 different Inquisitors
that
don't know. And it's frustrating to, Vader. We've seen Vader be the badass he's supposed to be within this series.
Yeah.
And yet, when confronting Reva, he's about to kill her.
Yeah.
And she throws this terrible excuse out. I let them go. I put a tracker on them.
When clearly the design was not just to let them go, just by her actions coming out to fight them at the end.
I put a tracker on the ship. Soon the location of the network and Kenobi will be ours.
It was a failsafe. That's all it was.
Well, they don't even show it.
Yeah.
She just fiddles with the droid at some point, and then you see her doing that when she's got dangerous Leia chained up in the room.
Sure.
And then so at the end you see the droid look at the camera when it has got red eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Great.
Come on, there's so many cliches in this.
Yeah, it's just really.
I mean, them getting rescued, but with the T-47s coming in, and it's just, come on, guys.
It's super lazy writing. I mean,
yeah,
I like seeing stuff from other shows like the T-47s. Totally something that Filoni would have done in The Mandalorian.
100%.
But the script would have been on point. Yeah. Right. The story was not on point at all, and the biggest beef is I do love seeing the T-47s. I love seeing all the throwbacks to A New Hope. I love seeing all of that when you give me a good story. This story was it didn't advance the overall arc at all.
Yeah.
It did nothing to do that.
It was lazy. It's, as you said, it was lazy.
That's a bummer.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
So, the big reveal in the episode of the Tomb of Jedi down on the level they're keeping below in the Inquisitor headquarters there.
Sure.
Was a thing, something that they brought back kind of from the Clone Wars. That was also in a Clone Wars episode, not that exact location or exact tomb, but a similar occurrence.
No, but it has a similar effect, right?
Yeah, similar vibe. Yeah. And what are they in there for? What are some of the? There's a bunch of Jedi in there. We haven't taken the time to try to identify them. I mean, I've read some online, some suppositions of what they are. You can find other videos that people will talk about some of the ones they might think those Jedi were.
Sure.
And what does that have to do? Are they just simply trying to, attract other Jedi to come to the Inquisitor base by them feeling them in the Force? Is it part of Mandalorian storyline?
Yeah, maybe it's part of the Mandalorian storyline. Why they're so interested in Grogu is because of his high M count.
Right.
Midichlorian count,
right.
But maybe
not midichlorians.
Yeah, not mandichlorians. That'd be funny though.
That would be funny.
Either way, it could be part of the Emperor's plot to clone.
Sure, I mean, the Emperor cloned himself many times, which they brought in from Legends into the canon with Episode 9. But, if anyone read the Timothy Zahn novels, the Emperor continuously and perpetually cloned himself during even the original trilogy. Yep. They never showed it, but that was what was canon at one time and then became Legends and then became canon again. So maybe this is part of that.
Well, and of course, as you say, it's the big reveal of the episode, and it might even be the entire reason that they went there. But there's really no reason for Obi-Wan to be down there.
No, my gut is it has something to do with whatever Moff Gideon's was doing in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I agree.
With the midichlorians and Grogu and Force users. So maybe there's more to come.
Well, and especially given the continuity and who's in charge now, I would imagine that's probably got a lot to do with it.
I came to see the kid. Grogu?
All right. So look, we're bummed about this one.
Yeah.
However, I'm still looking forward to seeing episode 5.
Of course.
I want to see how it ends. I really just want to take this one with a grain of salt and wonder why you needed a filler episode in a 6-episode series.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there'll be something in the next 2 episodes that makes it clear why this episode was the way it was. And I hope that's the case. But as of right now, as it stands, I don't get it.
It could happen. I mean, we're optimists, so hopefully, they tell the story the right way. But
I hope so.
This episode was disappointing, with the exception of Obi-Wan being a complete badass.
And 75% badass.
75% badass. Yes, absolutely.
For moments.
That's the final take. Chuck, you got anything else?
No.
That's it. In the meantime, I would like to remind you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, all that good stuff. We are out there. Share us with all your nerd friends and comment below. We want to continue the conversation with you. Let us know what you thought.
Likes are free.
Likes are free. Please go ahead and give the video a like. We appreciate it. And with that, we will say,
what's on your nerd card?